what you're witnessing is behind the scenes, raw and uncut. You know what I mean? It's gonna give you that smackdown. You know what I'm saying? Just straight up. Hello there. I am eating. I am having dinner. And I'm streaming live on Twitch. If you are joining me on YouTube or any other social media, then this is already, has already happened, and has already been recorded. But you can act like you're chilling with me. Anyway, I want to talk about a lot of things tonight. You know, you know how rich people, they politic or they talk at lunch, dinner. You know, I'm gonna talk about other things you're not supposed to talk about. This is an unpolite dinner. That's the name of the show. This episode is called "Unpolite Dinner." Where's your manners? Right, like a savage. Not like those guys that have those mukbangs though. But if you do want to know what I'm eating, it is I'm eating out of a pot, but it's chicken. A chicken sandwich. It's a chicken sandwich. I mean, chicken soup. I had a long day at work, guys. Anyway, um, it's good though. You know what I'm saying? And it's all good. I'm devouring it. That's why it does have meat on it. I just ate it all. You know what I mean? That's why. Mm. Anyway, I wanted to talk about unpolite topics. So politics, religion, and everything else that is not polite, and money, right? Third thing that turn off people, right? So, but everybody likes to get clout, right? Everybody like that's what everybody's into these days. It should just be rude people and just to get clout and stuff, just to get things. Mm. And then they want to justify it. Like, I'm not blaming nobody, bro. This is just who I am. You know what I mean? I ain't saying this is Obama's fault like MAGA does. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, oh, this is Obama's fault. I remember a time when we used to be able to, we didn't have to ask people who they voted for, and people would be scared about who they voted for, and like that would be just like private information and shit. Like what the fuck? No, I'm not a MAGA who says, oh yeah, and then Obama came and fucked everything up. I'm like, yeah, right, dude. Yeah, right. That's a stupid ass thing to blame Obama for. Let's just get this thing straight. Let's just get one thing straight. MAGA are a bunch of fucking racist insurrectionists who betrayed America. They are the terrorists. They are the domestic terrorists. I guess I can open there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They are the racist terrorists of America. I mean, straight up. You'll find the KKK on their side. You'll find the Proud Boys, Coup d'etat, that's right wing paramilitary death squads. You know what I mean? On their side. You'll find the neo Nazis on their side. You'll find the racist, corrupt brotherhoods of police on their side. You'll find the corrupt, bought out Republican politician on their side. I mean, you'll find all the corrupt businesses and CEOs and bankers and billionaires on their side. I'm on Fox News. Now I'm talking about. Anyway, excuse me while I sip this. Damn. Maybe not all of them. Maybe not all of them. But the reason I say that, they want to give Luigi Mangione or whatever, they want to charge him for terrorism or whatever. They want to charge him and try to give him the execution. And personally, what I think is that I don't like that. Personally, I think that the execution should not be legal anymore. I thought like you know who brought it back was Trump. Trump is the one that brought it back. He's the punk ass who brought it back. He's the guy who also condemns innocent people. and who would have condemned the Central Park Five. You know, and they would have been dead too. Those black kids that they get accused and shit. Mm. This country hadn't killed people for like 40 years or something. The people that under Trump, more people got executed than in the last like 50 to 75 years or something like that. I mean, Trump is a madman, dog. That dude's the most racist reprobate you can ever see, have ever seen on in politics. I've ever seen given any kind of credence or anything. I don't know why. You know, I still don't. I would never understand that. I would never understand why people decide to follow Trump because, you know, he's a reprobate. He's a piece of shit. I mean, corrupt to the core. I don't gotta explain to you why. I just know. You know, I'm done. I'm done with MAGA trying to tell me prove it or whatever. I don't give a fuck. I don't got nothing to prove to you. You guys are a joke. You know, you guys are a fucking joke. Um, you know, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, fucking MAGA, right? So I want to give that dude Luigi like acts of terrorism. Personally, I think that the real culprit here is not this is not terrorism. This is a symptom of a disparity that is a fact in this country, and that's just like you know disparity causes violence, uprisings. You know that's what it leads to. You know, historically speaking, what leads to violence is disparity. You know what I mean? The have and the have-nots, right? And that's what leads to violence. And when you have when we're living in a time where a certain politician, you know, is a fugitive from justice, and that they're harboring in the White House, who happens to be a convicted felon, who an insurrectionist leader, who attacked the Democrats and sided with Putin. You know what I mean? A man who has dismantled our economy and our government apparatus and has divided this country. And since the very beginning, the most corrupted, you know, I'm saying convicted felon, you know, liar and shit that we've ever seen. I mean, our lifetime and shit, you know, in the Oval Office. This man, you know, he exists in a time where this country has already like you know middle class and the lower class have been dealt so many blows in the last 20 years. You know what I mean? That you know, economically speaking, you know, like in my lifetime, right? We've had to live through 9/11. You know, what I mean, first of all, violence, you know, whatever. Then 9/11, then everything that came after that, the Patriot Act, all this racism, you know, the 20-year war that they had, and the terrorist, you know, you know, propaganda that people got scared out their fucking minds so they could, you know, justify the war. Like, I hope they're killing those fucking terrorists and shit. Nigga, don't worry. They killed about fucking 87 times more civilians than what they killed to us. Okay, that means for every one fucking person in those two towers, they killed 87. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that you know what I'm saying, you know that they got their licks in, you motherfuckers. I mean, but since you know these people are bloodthirsty, they didn't give a shit. They didn't give a shit about all those people that they killed in Iraq and Afghanistan shit. Hell, they don't even know which country it is. They don't even give a shit. Yeah, yeah, they don't care about the Marines and the soldiers that tortured, you know, the what they did and raped and tortured and you know did all type of fucking acts of war against the Afghanistan and shit because all of you guys wanted it. Y'all voted for that, and they all turned a blind eye and were like, whatever. Y'all unleashed that demon over there in the Middle East and shit. A bunch of fucking white motherfuckers rolling through that bitch, bumping drowning pools, let the bodies hit the floor out their tank, and then just shooting everything that moves. You know what I mean? Shit, damn. You know? All these bald headed, skinhead motherfuckers that joined the army just to go kill people. I mean, shit. That's what y'all voted for, and that's what Republicans unanimously voted for, right? That's what got us in the war. And not to mention, the Wall Street had a field day after 9/11. I mean, they had a field day. You think that the markets tank? Hell no. They made the biggest profits they had ever seen. And like a crack addict, they got hooked. You know what I mean? And then, that greed led to them. Their greed led them to do unethical business practices that culminated in the unethical selling of subprime mortgages as stock options, and then led to the 2008 2009 housing market crash. You know what I mean? Because of their greedy, just because they're fucking pure greed from Wall Street. You know what I mean? Just off of pure greed from the motherfucking banks. Yes, the banks. You know what I mean? Motherfucking J.P. Morgan, Bank of, the U.S. Bank of America. You know what I mean? Motherfucking Chase or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? I mean, all these motherfucking Lehman Brothers and other hedge fund managers that act like banks. Yes, they're greed. From motherfucking 20, 30-year-old, green, new hedge fund kid on the block and motherfucker trying to make a name for himself in Manhattan, selling subprime mortgages like they're fucking hotcakes. Nigga, just because of pure greed, buying a fucking Ferrari and shit, selling fucking subprime mortgages during the day, going to a brothel at night, you know what I'm saying, doing coke, blow, and hookers, you know what I mean, whatever, you know what I mean, and then going back to work the next day with all hush mouth like a bunch of corrupted Republicans that they are. You know what I mean? Like a bunch of fucking white boys that they are, always hush hush. Hey, shut up about that last night and shut up about what we're doing during the day. You know what I mean? Them motherfuckers and that type of shit, that type of irresponsibility and just corruption and unethicalness that was displayed in their personal life and then practiced in their professional life. That's the type of shit, you know what I mean, that Americans love, right? Y'all love a Jordan Belfort, Wolf of Wall Street, crackhead motherfucker that's like to scam motherfucking millions of Americans, right? That's what the fuck y'all like. That's your American dream for some of you motherfuckers, right? Ain't that the American dream for these white fucking pieces of shit that voted for Trump? They got their little stocks. They watch Wolf of Wall Street. They're like, oh my God, Tesla, let's go to the moon, Doge, coin, Bitcoin, and all this bullshit. You know what I mean? Pumping dumb schemes and shit. They don't give a fuck about America. And those are the people that voted for that bitch. You know what I mean? Straight up. That's what's happened. That's what happened. Told you. I told you I was just gonna tell you. I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. I mean, but that's what they crashed the market in 08, 09. And so, mind you, you know what I mean? Those were under Republicans and shit. And then Obama had to fucking take the rap for it. Obama had to fucking, um, inherit that economy with that fucking type of Wall Street, with and a war, and a bunch of racist motherfuckers. A bunch of racist, ignorant fucking U.S. citizens. Straight up. And I was in school, and the cops, like the people that voted for the cops to call me a terrorist when I was in school, are the same motherfuckers that voted for Trump, that have also has also taught that racism on to the next generation. Oh, fuck niggas. And where does that lead to? That leads to innocent people being condemned. And then these motherfuckers acting like they're saints or they're men of God or whatever the fuck they want to say. I don't know what the hell they think. Just so they can sleep at night. What it leads to is injustice, violence, and then they blame it on the Democrats. They the ones that caused all that shit. What did Trump do? I mean, what did Obama do? He came back and helped the middle class, right? That y'all didn't give a fuck about. That Republicans didn't give a fuck about, even after they've been rocked economically. And the white people never gave a fuck about the blacks. You look at history and you can see that. What's funny is that black people only got their rights because they fought for it. They fought. They had to fight for it. They had to fight and die for the right to vote, for the right to, for all the rights they have. They had to fight and die for it. I'm not saying we gotta do that. I'm just saying I would date it. Oh crap. Anyway, you know, the the people think that I have to respect. Sorry. Yep. I'm telling you, man. I'm just chilling right now, bro. People think that I have to respect like white people or even soldiers or something, or like the army and military and infantry or whatever. I don't. I don't. First of all, I was gonna join the army, you know, but hell no. I'm glad I did because that's what they want you to be, right? That's all they want you to be. This country, well, they have killed, like I said, for every one American they killed 9/11, they killed 87 civilians, not even terrorists. You know what I mean? That how can you take part of a country that has never respected you and has hurt your people where you're from and is so corrupted and shit and can't even help you. That's the reason why you join the army because you're broke because you're middle class, lower class, and if you're brown or black, then that's your only fucking option sometimes. You know what I mean? Or if you're a country bumpkin motherfucker, then that's the only then yeah then that's your only fucking option. And that's how they want it. That's how they set it up. They set it up for for blacks and browns. They either want you to be in jail. For those that want to stand up for their own shit. They don't allow. They don't want you to be free. No, hell no. They don't want you to be free. They don't want you to just be chilling. You know, no, no, no. If and they want you to be paying taxes and paying the IRS so that they can get money for war. I mean, and they want you paying their debt that what I'm saying, while giving tax cuts to the billionaires. I mean, I will never understand MAGA. I will never, and I don't want to understand you. Like what I'm saying, you motherfuckers nuked yourself. You wanted like what I mean, you motherfuckers are stupid as hell. But anyway, like I said, I think that some people were misinformed, right? You know, MAGA's a fucking joke. Okay, they're a fucking joke. Okay, everything they're saying, they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about, man. They're over here talking about some bullshit. Like, what I mean, like, what I'm saying. They said that only one dude is that they're trying to get back from the migrants. Only that's a one time. That's that doesn't that is not a big deal. That they send an innocent person to El Salvador, right, to say caught. Oh, that's just one case. Oh, yeah, really? You think that's just one fucking case, dog? You really think that? You really think that's just one case? That's like, what I'm saying? You know what that reminds me of, bruh? That reminds me of when these fuck niggas. I'm sorry. Back when I was younger, during Department of Homeland Security, when I was like 14 or whatever, that cops, I was going to school. Everything was fine. I used to get straight A's or whatever. And then I started, and people used to think like they cared about me, whatever. And then when I got older, like when went to middle school, I saw a difference. Like people started trying to like, they started segregating us, and then they started saying, you're a part of a gang or whatever. You know what I mean? And then they started saying like all this shit, gang unit and all that shit, gang and so they got us in the system. You know what I'm saying? They got us in the fucking system. You know, they came up to us and they said, "Where you're from?" And I'm like, "I'm from El Salvador." They're like, "You're part of MS-13. You're part of the crime wave. We got a bunch of your cousins." And I'm like, this guy's a cop, right? Trying to direct the flow of traffic and buses in front of the school. And I had to walk to school, and I was like, "Nigga, what?" I was just walking to school, and he said, "Oh," he like, "Hey," he's like, "Show me your ID." And I'm like, "I don't have an ID. I'm a student." He's like, "Oh," like, so, I was like fucking 14, 13. I had a backpack, right? And I was walking, like, obviously I was a student. And he's like, "Oh, I just got a bunch of your cousins down into, in jail." And I was like, "What?" And it actually took me like 20 or like 15 years to realize that he was being racist during this interaction. But this is like the first interaction I had with a cop. I didn't know he was being racist, but when he told me that he had my cousins and the prisons, I thought he was being serious. So because that's how innocent I was, and I said, he was a cop and he was an adult, but he was white, you know. And I was like, when I was a kid, and I was like, what do you mean you got my cousin? He's like, we busted your cousins all over the weekend and stuff, and they all got locked up because they were selling drugs. Like, I know they're your cousins. I'm like, what? Like, I don't, no, I think you got the wrong guy. And like, that's how innocent I was. You know what I mean? And then this motherfucker said, "Oh shit, so that wasn't you?" And I'm like, no, no, sir, that wasn't me. You know what I mean? I wasn't part of any of that. You know what I mean? I think you got the wrong person. I just come to school. And he was like, "Oh, so you're not part of MS-13?" He was like, "No." Oh no, he said, "You're not part of MS-18." And he's like, "Oh, so what are you? Are you Sureños? Are you whatever?" And mind you, there's traffic, going on the street, and this guy's waving, smiling, and then he's fucking talking shit to me. I mean, what I mean? That's how fake these niggas. That's how fake these crackers are, bro. And in that interaction, he tried to tell me that I was part of a gang. He tried to say that he didn't even know what I was. He's like, "What are you, Mexican? Are you Sur 13?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not Sur 13." I'm like, "Where you from?" I'm like, "I'm from Texas." He's like, "Oh no, where are your parents from? Where are your people from?" And I said, "My people, they're from El Salvador." And he said, "No, you see, I told him I'm from Houston, Texas, and I was raised here in Charlotte." And he was like, "No, where are your people from?" And they're like, "El Salvador." I was like, "El Salvador." He's like, "Oh, so you're MS-13 or MS-18?" And I said, "First of all, what I mean, the fuck, what you're trying to say is MS-13, but I'm not a fucking gang member. You know what I mean? What the fuck, and all I like, it took me so long to realize that this motherfucker was accusing me, coercing me, and telling me what I was. You know what I mean? And he didn't have no fucking proof. He's just a fucking cracker loser with a badge. But at the time, I was a kid and I had respect to it for adults because my mom raised me right. Not like these fucking MAGA ass kids. You know what I mean? I didn't bully other kids. I didn't do shit. But these motherfuckers over here. I mean, I play bullied with a dude, but he do the same shit to me. I mean, but like that was only one. There was like a nerd Jew. You know what I mean? This little nerd Jew. I think he was Jewish. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? But the point is that you know these people were cops who were trying to harass me and say and profile me and say that I was in the gang. He was telling me that what I was. He was telling me what I was because he's like, "Oh, you see these people, they're Bloods and they're Crips. You better watch out." And I'm like, "Well, like the blacks, the black motherfuckers, like what I'm saying." He was like, "Yeah, they're gang members. You better watch out because if they see you snitching, I'm not gonna have your back." And I'm like, "Bro, I'm not snitching. You're asking me these like, what the fuck is you talking about?" You know what I mean? All of this shit is because they wanted us to go to jail. All of us. They wanted us to put on. I'm like, those motherfuckers are obviously motherfucking probably gang members, nigga. Fucking black motherfuckers. They glamorize that shit. Okay, they glamorize that shit in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? The last real nigga was probably Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all these niggas. They glamorize that shit. You know what I mean? They glorify it. You know what I mean? But fuck that. You know what I mean? I'm not no motherfucking gangster. What the fuck? You know what I mean? And it's like them niggas, yeah, them niggas want to be that shit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And not me and shit. What the fuck? You know what I mean? And it's like those motherfuckers, man. And black people, they want to act like they gangster. You know what I mean? They want to act like they gangster. They like to make money off of that shit, or that image, because the white man done motherfucking find out how to pimp them out and shit, and now they just glorify the image and shit and pimp the motherfuckers out. I mean, they ain't real shit. You know what I mean? And now they fuck up everybody else because of the image, because they think that's how real niggas is. Now real niggas, now these niggas listen to fake niggas who think they're real niggas, but they can't handle their business like a real nigga. So fake niggas get killed trying to act like a real nigga. Because some niggas don't know how to be real niggas and teach them how to be how to motherfucking get off the fucking streets or get out the game. Get out the dope game and shit. Whatever. You know what I mean? At the same time, bro, I was just like, I'm not part of a gang, and so it's like the motherfuckers were like, he was like, whatever, you're going to jail. I mean, he no, he said you're going to school. He's like, if you get in trouble, I'm not gonna help you out. So I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I realized later that that's the same reason that motherfuckers he was following the shit that they voted for with the Homeland Security and all that bullshit. I realize now that Homeland Security, the Patriot Act specifically, had allowed cops to fucking harass and take over people's liberties. We never get them shits back. That shit is gone. Bye bye. Our constitutional rights. Look at the shit that's going on in America. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers can't say or think in a certain way without being harassed or mobbed. You understand what I'm saying? Or canceled or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? You think that's normal? Like, no. That shit, like, I saw this shit going downhill after 9/11. You know what I mean? After the Patriot Act, they took away some of our constitutional rights, and they always harassed us with this shit. You know what I mean? And the Republican side, they've always done this shit, which is oppress our rights. You know what I mean? And unless we're white, you know what I mean? And Christian. Apparently, they want to act like a Christian. They're not Christians. They're not Christians. And I'll be damned if like maybe 50% of them were Christians. You know what I mean? That this would be like the greatest country ever, right? I mean, there would be no poor people. There would be no innocent people locked up. There would be no prisons and shit. You know what I mean? Everybody would have. There would be no disparity. You know what I mean? These people would be helping the third world countries. They'd be helping Latin America, which are some of the poorest. I mean, El Salvador wouldn't have some of the most. People die of anemia. People die of malnutrition because, you know what I mean, historically in the last 100 years, that's how they died in 1900s. You know what I mean? Because they didn't even have enough fucking nutrients. You're going to tell me that this country's a fucking Christian country? You out of your goddamn mind. They call it, what the fuck did Trump call it? A shithole country? You know what I mean? You call that man a Christian? You guys are out of your goddamn fucking minds. You're a fucking joke. You know what I mean? You're a fucking joke for real. You know what I mean? Y'all ain't no motherfucking Christians, bro. And I'll tell you that shit straight up. And it's like when I was a kid, you know what I mean? Them motherfuckers were trying to tell me I was a terrorist. You know what I mean? They said, you selling drugs in school? I'm like, what the hell is you talking about? I mean, I only get straight. I went into class that day and I was scared. I was like, it changed my life. Like when I was, because I was just going to school. It was like, I don't know. He said something about, you better not, like, I'll see you when you get out or some shit like that. I'm like, the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? I'm just going to school. Motherfuckers, I get harassed by cops just to go to school. This is why I didn't want to go to school. This is why I dropped out of school, because I started skipping. Because then I started fucking being in class, and the teachers were on this shit too. You know, because I realize now, it's like they were all MAGA. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's like that's what I had to live in when I was growing up. I was a kid who thought we're all equal. Jesus Christ, God, God made all of us. This is a Christian nation. You claim to be Christians. You know, there is no racism here. You know what I mean? There is just love. And that's what I thought. And when I was growing up, oh, these motherfuckers are the goddamn racists and shit. And all these white people, they claim to be fucking Christians. Yeah, they're the most racist motherfuckers. I'm like, damn. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, what the hell? And those cops, they tell us, oh, yeah, they're good cops, all right. Yeah, they're DARE program. Oh, yeah, trust your local cop and shit. Yeah, right. Them niggas are the ones that lock us up and lie about it. Fucking pigs with badges. Those motherfuckers were harassing us since we were kids and accusing us of shit that we never did. And so, and then I went to class, and the fucking teachers, them bitches want to be all up on my grill too, like trying to say that I did shit that I didn't do. They used to try to say that the black kid that was a piece of shit trying to be a thug and shit with a little Air Force One shit, trying to be a trapper, you know what I mean, a trap star or some shit, little soldier boy motherfucker back in the day. These motherfuckers were like, shit, like, you know what I'm saying? I know they had better shoes and shit. I know they had tattoos. I know that they like to glorify being a gangster in hip hop and shit. You know what I mean? And I know they think they're first in line and they're whatever. You know what I mean? I think that, I know they think they're better than a motherfucker, and they think that they're better than Latinos or better than immigrants, and that they're next in line, and that they're gonna get their restitution one day. You know what I mean? Whatever the fuck bullshit they think, man. And they want to kiss that white ass so that they think they're gonna get their fucking restitution, nigga. You still think they're still talking about their 48 acres and a mule, nigga, shit. You know what I mean? From the first war, nigga, from the fucking Revolutionary War. They didn't even get that shit, nigga. You know what I mean? What the fuck? You know what I mean? And like, yo, and they got a problem with me, right? And so I was like, them motherfuckers were bullying me and shit. You know what I mean? Whatever. They used to bully kids that didn't know English, and they want to be white. Fucking MAGA. Just like the fucking black people who voted for MAGA. And I was like, man, what the fuck? You know what I mean? These motherfuckers are tripping, cuz. Like, why the fuck? They better, like, back the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? And I'd get in trouble for defending myself. You know what I mean? And they're like, why do you start this? And I'm like, what the fuck you mean? This little bugging ass, obnoxious ass, black, overly exaggerated swagger of this black kid over here. You know what I mean? Needs to like, he need to back up. You know what I mean? Obviously he needs to leave me alone and shit. I'm trying to think. I used to go to class and who's the loudest motherfuckers in there? Black kids. I mean, shit. They're the most disruptive and loudest and shit. I couldn't even think in school. I mean, I literally went to class one time. I remember just trying to listen to the teacher. Everybody like blah 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 blah. Like everybody's like a bunch of clowns in your face. Like they're just moving like a circle. Like everybody's just talking, ignoring the teacher. And the teacher's, I'm like, I like, am I having like, is this the fucking Twilight Zone right now? Like, am I motherfucking like real talk? Am I the only one paying attention to the fucking professor? You know what I mean? Everybody else was just talking to each other. I don't know what the fuck, rapping and beatboxing and fucking, like literally it was lit when I was in school, right? But somehow, like, that's why I fell behind in grades. I was just like, I couldn't take that shit because I was like, man, these motherfuckers, man, like, they get me pissed, and I couldn't even fucking control myself because then we reading about motherfucking history and shit, and then in history, motherfucker, it says how these motherfuckers, what they did to Latinos, to Latin American countries. What they don't say, right, is that the CIA fucking intervened into every single, like, 47, 48, nations, and then coup d'etat them, right? They don't say that shit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? What the fuck? And then the black people, yeah, they like to bitch about how they were slaves and shit. But again, this is America, right? But this is America, right? And that's the white man. Then what do they call the Latin America? They call it its backyard, right? They call it its backyard and bullshit like that, right? Where do you think they got all the gold and silver from? You know what I mean? To make their economies blossom and bloom and shit. You know what I mean? From Europe all the way over here. See, America, I thought America was going to be different than fucking England. But these niggas is about as British as the motherfucker gets. These motherfuckers are about as European as you can motherfucking get with a motherfucker. I mean, shit. For the fuck? You know what I mean? This is a goddamn stolen land. It's indigenous land, assholes. You know what I mean? What the hell y'all talking about? Shit, and then black motherfuckers only want to fucking plead their case, but they don't care. Like, some of them don't care about, the bigger picture. The whole shit that that basically, we're the people of fucking the house of Judah and the people of Canaan. That we both got enslaved in Egypt. You know what I mean? Like, we both suffered and shit, and were enslaved for 500 years. You know what I mean? And Nipsey Hussle said some real shit. He said, now fast forward, right? Because I'm jumping in between timelines here. Like Nipsey Hussle said some shit in hip hop. One of the only real niggas like in hip hop, right? He said, he's Ethiopian. You know what I mean? He's from where he's from where what's the name? The Haile Selassie's from, which was a direct descendant of King Solomon, right? And who the religion Rastafari, was formed after Haile Selassie, who was the last king of Ethiopia, right? And that guy, right? He was well, like I said, he was a direct descendant of Solomon's people, of the King Solomon, right? And he's from the house of Judah, because Solomon is from David in the house of, and he's off from Judah. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's like, this is what it says. You know what I'm saying? Bob Marley and all that. You know what I mean? Rastafari shit. I mean, it's beautiful. But anyway, you know what I mean? And the people of Canaan, whatever, we were Latinos, indigenous, you know what I'm saying? They stole our lands and displaced us, and we were on those lands for thousands of years, hundreds, if not thousands of years, right? So then they colonized. Some church call it baptize it. Yeah, they what I know, all I know is they came and they enslaved, they killed, and then they took the silver and they pillaged and took the silver and the gold and the emeralds and all the treasures and the resources, and then the crops and the fertile lands they used and the people they used and enslaved, and then they took it all away and they left God. I mean, like, they left their churches, they left their crosses, they left their God and shit, but they took, no offense, but they took but they took the gold and the silver. I mean, and the people just like displaced or whatever, and they left their tongue, their culture, and destroyed, culture. And then El Salvador, you know what I mean? And I gotta say some shit about Mexicans right now. You know what I mean? Because Mexicans, I got a problem. I got a little bone to pick with you motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Because you motherfuckers, y'all always started some shit in middle school too. Yeah, I don't think I forgot, nigga. Y'all niggas, I know how y'all niggas is racist towards Salvadorians too. You know what I'm saying? And the shit that y'all motherfuckers say is the same old goddamn bullshit, bro, that we can fucking discuss because I already fucking know. You know what I mean? You guys fucking get mad at the way that we speak Spanish. You know what I mean? Spanish, my nigga. You know what I mean? Assholes. That's another European colonized tongue, bitch. You know what I mean? So first of all, putos, you know what I mean? You're speaking in a colonized tongue. You know what I mean? But you get mad at the way that I motherfucking talk because we say vose and we say, hey, you know what, vos que pasa and shit. And they're like, ha 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 ha, that's so funny. You speak Spanish funny. You know what I mean? Let me tell you something, assholes. That's still a colonized language. You being able to speak a colonized language better is not a flex, my nigga. So I don't know what the fuck you talking about. You know what I mean? Second of all, you know what I mean? Yeah, man. Second of all, you know what I mean? I think this is ignorance. This is willful ignorance, and this is the reason why I believe that we need to like really pray to church, and we really need to find a church and get back in God's good graces. Because the reality is that we're bickering over something that that we're bonding at the same time that happened to both of us that we're both suffering, which is suppression of our cultures. You know what I mean? And we all over here trying to see who can kiss ass the best. You know what I'm saying? And you need to get back with God's good graces and understand that, what I'm saying, that you need to understand something about my people, right? The people, like we both speak Spanish, okay, but we also speak another language back in the day before we spoke Spanish, which is Nahuatl. Because if you didn't know, the people in El Salvador were also Mayans. I mean, we were all Mayans, right? So we were also Mayans. We also spoke Nahuatl or Nahuatl, whatever you want to call it, Nahuatl or whatever you want to call it. You have it. You have a bigger, bigger language, but we have the same kind of language. We still have a dialect or whatever of the same language, right? I don't know what you call it, but the point is, my nigga, that the reason why I don't speak much Nahuatl is instead because I'll tell you, because a lot of motherfuckers that were indigenous in El Salvador were massacred thanks to the United States and thanks to white people and thanks to colonialism and shit like that, colonialism. Thanks to capitalism that wanted to create haciendas and latifundas over there that wanted to take the fucking land and divide it with only 3 or 13 oligarchical families. You know what I mean? And trying to kill the indigenous that have been there for hundreds, if not thousands of years, right? The leaders of the tribes and the families that have been on those lands for hundreds of years because of the government and its freaking capitalistic endeavors. Because of their freaking richness that they got because it was a banana republic thanks to their loyalty with America and probably Britain and other countries. They were able to pimp out and they got the money and then they bypassed the constitution and the democracy that it has in El Salvador. And they're the ones that wanted to create this capitalistic and everything. And then when the fucking U.S. showed up, you know what I mean, they backed the corrupt government that was also, what I'm saying, bypassing its own constitution. You know what I mean? And then they started slaughtering the indigenous people just because they spoke Nahuatl. You know what I mean? Now, and our dialect in El Salvador is now a dying language. It's almost extinct. I'm gonna do you guys a favor. I'm gonna fucking learn that shit, and I'm gonna teach that to my kids. And you know what I mean? Just to keep it alive. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we should have done. But because of the white man, you know what I mean? We speak in colonized tongues. You know what I'm saying? So I want Mexicans to fucking notice that shit, because y'all niggas is racist as fuck too, you motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Just because we're how we speak, you motherfucker. Fuck you, nigga. You know what I mean? Say straight up, nigga, because y'all niggas be saying the same shit those crackers say that kicked your motherfucking ass. So I don't even know what the fuck y'all talking about over here. You know what I mean? You see, when I was young and shit, them motherfuckers wanted to scrap up just because of that. That's why I fucking whooped their ass. You know what I mean? because yeah, nigga, like you fucking talking about how we speak and the people, my people. Do you know that my people were killed, massacred, 20,000 of them, by the thousands at the same time, massacred just because they spoke our indigenous Nahuatl language. Okay, as opposed to how Guatemala has their people, as opposed to how Mexico has their people. You know what I mean? Ours, they massacred our people just because of us speaking, of them speaking that native tongue. You know what I mean? So don't be fucking talking no bullshit to me, bitch. I mean, I don't like that shit. I mean, and who the fuck picks a fight over fucking language anyway? What the fuck is that? You know what I mean? What are you, the grammar Nazi, motherfucker? Shit. Now I'm telling you, man. You know what I mean? That's what I'm just being straight up. But nah, I used to get in a fight with a bunch of Mexicans because of how I spoke. You know what I'm saying? They used to say it was funny or whatever. But you see, Mexicans have been racist to El Salvadorians, bro. You know what I mean? For a long time, they'd be like, why is there beef between Mexico? Like I heard these little young, these little young beach house man. They'd be like, why the fuck does Salvadorian and Mexicans not get along? And then Mexicans be like, oh, they just trying to be like us or some shit. Now, nigga, trying to be like you, nigga. We's the same people, you dumb motherfucker. You know what I mean? What the fuck is you talking about, bitch? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You see, but then you see, they make fun of us, and they the ones that say, nah, we're the shit, and you guys are little us. They belittle us. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But they belittle Chicanos too. You know what I mean? And Chicanos, though it's a culture now, it started off as Chicano being a derogatory term and shit. You know what I mean? So, I mean, whatever, Mexican motherfucker, whatever, man. You know what I mean? Hey, we left that motherfucking shit because that shit collapsed. You know, that fucking Mayan Empire fucking shit. You know. But like I said, dude, there was famine, motherfucker. People had to go and find better lands. I mean, the point that I'm trying to make, right, is that I ain't got no beef with Mexicans. I'm just being fucking honest. You know what I mean? You can fucking, I'm just being fucking honest. That's just the way that I fucking feel. You know what I mean? I don't got no beef with the motherfuckers. Shit. I thought I was gonna marry a Mexican chick. I was in love with a Mexican chick. I thought I was gonna have a kid that was gonna be motherfucking speaking our Mayan language and shit. You know what I mean? But nah, you know what I mean? She wanted to go off with a fucking Mexican that can't even fucking show his goddamn face. You know what I mean? Shit. At least be a fucking man about it, motherfucker. Shit, it ain't my motherfucking fault, nigga, that you don't got a backbone. Nigga, shit. I don't like that fuck shit, bro. But you see, there's a lot of fuck niggas around here. It's not their fault they're pieces of shit. You know what I mean? It's just that they let the world fucking tell them what to do and shit. You know what I mean? They don't have no morals or dignities and shit. They haven't suffered enough. They think they're better than a motherfucker. You know? Anyway. Yeah, my people have suffered. I know that there's a lot of more people that are poor in Mexico, but I don't think just because of the sheer size of it, but I think that what's happened in El Salvador is just tragic, for a long time. I think that because it's a smaller area, I think that it was more concentrated, and like I said, like the massacre, they call it la matanza, was what exact like they killed them, like they massacred them just for speaking the language, and that's why we don't speak that. Like I mean, that's why that language is going extinct. That subcategory of language. I know there's some real motherfucking real Mexicans that speak the real language still, Nahuatl and shit. But we speak Nahuatl, which is the same thing, but just I don't know how it's just it's on the same tree of the Aztec. You know what I mean? Of the Mayo Aztec or whatever, or the Neo Aztec, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We're still in the same tree of life, or tree of destiny, whatever you want to call it, of history, the tree of life, and we're still from the same Meso Aztec, language tree. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know what I'm saying? And yet we don't even speak that motherfucking shit. We're over here speaking German, fucking, you know, English shit. You know what I mean? Like, damn. Or Spanish. Like I told you. You know what I mean? You gotta keep it real around this bitch, man. Because I motherfucking had it with Nelly, bro. Yeah, nah, that's shit, man. You know, like I said, so when I grew up, man, like I said, so the black people and people that voted for MAGA, you know, and the shit that they're doing now is the same shit that I had to live up when I was growing up. You know what I mean? They used to call me a fucking terrorist and shit, and that shit, and then they discredited me in school. You know, the teachers, it was like they were MAGA too. You know, like back in the day, they were Republicans, and they also were racist. You know what I mean? And they also said shit. You know, put me on a list, and they all fucking accused me of doing shit I never did, and they treated me like that. And what's worse is that they made me think that that's what I was. Because why? Because I was naive enough and still too had too much hope and to thinking that they were Christians and that they were good people and that they were trying to help me and that they weren't lying fucking racist people that didn't want the best of me or didn't have my best interest. I mean, when you realize that there's millions of people that do not care whether you live or you die here in America, Americans who call themselves Americans and they don't care about whether you as a kid in America, as a youth in America, lives or dies, and that they actually vote to get things done to endanger your life. You know what I mean? Like Karens, like fucking MAGA, like racist motherfuckers that want the cops to kill your ass. You know what I mean? That want to ruin and derail your entire life. You know what I mean? Like judges that fucking are just they're just going out for themselves, their own personal career advancements, and they lock your ass up for fucking. You know what I mean? They just automatically assume you're guilty. They do harsh punishments and shit for small shit. They don't even give you a fucking chance. You know, they fucking wanted us to go straight to prison. They conditioned us that way. They segregated us. They gassed us up. They said, oh, you know, whatever, racist shit. We're not all children of God. And these motherfuckers apparently claim to be Christian. And yet there's still racism. And they don't even, the worst part about it is they don't even fucking know they're racist. They don't even fucking know that they're racist. They act like they don't fucking know what racism is. When there's a group of kids and they're all kids, you look at them as kids. When there's a bunch of teenagers, they're still kids. They're still a group of teenagers. You know, you don't go and say, oh, white kids, you know, go over here. You know, oh, black kids go over there. Oh, Spanish kids go over there. I mean, no. You know, no. Oh, no. They sit differently at lunch. They sit differently at recess. No, come on, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? They put me in an ESL class just because of my skin color. Not because I didn't know how to speak English. And then the black motherfuckers get together and they're like, oh, nah, no, like, nah. I try to sit at a group of white kids' table. They're like, oh, no, Elmer, stop bugging them. Stop bugging the white kids. You know, stop. Why are you always looking for trouble? Why are you love this black motherfucker? Why are you always looking for trouble, Mr. Maldonado? You know, whatever. Like, nigga, what the fuck, nigga? You know, I'm trying to make motherfucking friends, bitch. You know what I mean? Because those fucking black motherfuckers always getting suspended, always getting me in trouble. So why can't I make friends with these white kids that obviously like seem to be in their bucks and shit? Like, no. I'm like, nigga, get the fuck out of my face. I mean, shit. I mean, like, I'm telling you, bro, that motherfuckers were racist and shit. And then, but you see, he actually did me a favor because those white kids, white kids, they grow up in their fucking Fox News home, conservative, you know, I mean, parents who watch Fox News at night and then talk about how black and brown people, you know, I mean, are oh my gosh, what a shame. You know, these black people, the crime wave, you know what I mean? Oh my gosh, these heathens, these unsophisticated people, these illegal aliens, you know, they get into the racist white man rhetoric, illegal aliens, you know what I mean, shit, and it's like, the kid grows up and they starts mimicking what they do. That's why these MAGA ass kids, they're gonna be the most fucked up kids in the fucking I've ever seen. They're gonna be racist like the kids in 1940s and shit. They're gonna be racist as fuck. They're gonna be like the racist ones opposing the civil rights movement. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna be racist as fuck. You know what I mean? But no, they're gonna be xenophobic. Sorry, they're gonna be xenophobic and racist as fuck. You know what I mean? And because what they're doing, like I said, those MAGA people, you know, I want to say rest in peace, Jocelyn Carranza. You know what I mean? Little girl that got killed because she was, well, she didn't get killed. She committed suicide because kids bullied her to death. They bullied her in her school, and when she went and told the teachers, they ignored it. They didn't even tell her mom. You know what I mean? Until the little girl killed herself because they were saying, the little fucking conservative ass kids were saying, MAGA kids were saying that her mom was gonna get deported. You know what I mean? And I want to say this. I would sue the White House for that, because during that same time, simultaneously, I remember this. I remember the timeline. Simultaneously, the White House that same very days was the days before that, the same time, they were pushing ASMR videos of deportees on the White House fucking page. On the White House page. You understand what I'm saying? Just for fucking MAGA adults. Because they're also bullies. They're also fucking, they act like fucking children too. That's why they're a fucking joke. You know what I mean? Fuck them. And these are adults. And as an adult, I'm going to tell kids, fuck these niggas, man. You know what I mean? They ain't shit. You know what I mean? Fuck those motherfuckers. You know what I mean? They ain't shit. I will tell you the truth. Just because they're adults don't mean that they're good people. It don't mean that they're not racist. It doesn't mean that they're immature. And I'm going to tell you the truth. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They just act like they do. And that's the secret of being an adult. You know what I mean? And I would tell you, don't let none of these motherfuckers tell you to not believe in yourself and to not think for yourself and that you are right and that with God anything is possible. You know what I mean? Because they will lie to you and they will fucking try to tell you not to trust and believe in yourself or that you're stupid or that whatever and that they're right. They're not right. Those cops are not right. They are fucking idiots. Oh, yeah, you think you're smarter than me? You think I'm an idiot? Yeah, I think you're a fucking idiot, man. I think you're a fucking loser with a badge. I think that the more that you fucking sold your soul to become a soldier or a police officer, the more of a loser you fucking are. You know what I mean? And you don't speak like a human being. You all you have in your head is programming, like, you know what I'm saying? Mind control shit. You're a dog. You're trained to take orders. I mean, you don't speak for fucking free men. You defend free men. You die for free men. You don't speak for them, though. You know what I mean? And that was the oath that you took. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just fucking reminding you, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like these cops, they took an oath to protect or to serve. They should have, if they are cops, or what the hell did they, what the hell? These politicians, they also had an oath, an affirmation that they were supposed to uphold. And that was to the duty to the Constitution and to the people of the United States of America. Yet they let a man totally walk all over it. Yet they let a man try to find loopholes in the Constitution. Let me name a couple, right, of what he did. Loopholes. January 6th, insurrection. Let's start off there. No, first of all, let's start off with the first act which he committed fucking treason. Look, he always wanted to fuck it up. He always wanted to go and push the boundaries. The first thing he committed was an act of treason. For me, for the record, I think Donald J. Trump is a traitor. You know what I mean? And I'm saying this shit, I don't care. But, the reason why I say that is because I'll take it back to when he, obviously, this is what I think, my public opinion. Because when he was talking to Russia, as soon as he went in front of Putin, when we had all his directors and all the agencies of the United States of America, and he was the first time that he met with Putin publicly. Who knows if they met in the past? You know what I mean? But it was the first time publicly that he was in front of the cameras and in front of Putin. And what you have is a man who seemed like he was a bit off, a bit scared, a bit hesitant, a bit unsure about something. A man who didn't seem like he was gonna take it, be strong about this. He was very weak in that first meeting. Contrary to what people believed he was gonna be, he was very weak in his stance in front of Putin. I feel as though he buckled under Putin. I think that Putin got the best of him, and I'm not alone in this sentiment. And when he came out and all his directors, the reporter asked him straight up, "Sir, what do you think about the accusations that your agencies, or I'm paraphrasing, that your agencies have evidence that Putin was in fact the one behind the election hacking? Do you agree with them? And what do you have to say to Putin right now? Will you address him right now?" You know what I mean? Literally just told him to do his job as the president of the United States and to put, to politic. You know what I mean? Like that was his first thing that he had to fucking go up front and say. And how hard is it to say, to defend your position on an election, thing? How hard is that? How hard is it to say, well, I got faith in our country? You know what I mean? How hard is it to say, Well, we will definitely look into it, and I think that any of that, if he did meddle into our country, that we should definitely find out. No. But he knew his words will have impact. He knew his words were going to have impact. And what does he say? Do you think that in that first meeting with Putin, do you think that he showed love and loyalty to the United States of America? Because I want to ask, how the fuck does saying that our fucking agencies are incompetent and that they need to be fired, and then start talking about Hillary and going on a rant to attack Hillary and her servers and her emails, and say that people tell me about her emails. Who the fuck are people? Nigga, the people on fucking Twitter at the time, nigga, those motherfuckers, those crazy motherfucking insurrectionists, that brainwashed motherfuckers that thought about Pizzagate. The nigga, that's what they were motherfucker, there was no Pizzagate, nigga. Tell your fucking followers that shit, nigga. Tell Alex Jones that shit. Tell those motherfucking brainwashed motherfuckers that shit. You know what I mean? What the fuck? No, tell me, how does it represent our best interest when he's made to defend our country? Instead, he starts attacking our democratic elected leaders. He starts attacking Hillary. He starts attacking the Democrats. He starts attacking the FBI. He starts attacking the CIA, the NSA, the Department of Defense, the Department of Justice, everybody, and the people too. How the fuck, and the people that the cybersecurity people and the people that were doing the election hacking, how the fuck is that represented our best interest? And let me remind you of what the fuck the definition of treason is. One of the definitions of treason, as we know in the Constitution, is representing a foreign country's best interest. You know what I mean? And right there in that moment, when he was supposed to address Putin, he attacked our own people. To me, that showed me everything I needed to know about where his loyalty is. And this was the first test he had as a president. And that told me everything I needed to know about this motherfucker. Right? This was like what you should have seen this shit coming from fucking miles away. Everything that we see now, okay, is that he was gonna fucking side with Putin after all this shit. He still to this day has fucking helped Putin. He still hasn't addressed the shit. And you know why he did that? Because he wanted to derail the FBI investigation. Because they were searching, because he didn't want to cooperate with them, because guilty people, do what they do. You know what I'm saying? And he wanted to derail that shit. Instead, he wanted to deflect, and he had already poisoned MAGA with another conspiracy theory, yet again with no evidence of her servers, her laptop from whatever the fuck they're talking about, emails or some shit, you know what I mean? And just like Pizzagate, these motherfuckers think it's real, you know what I mean, with no evidence, right? Just like an insurrection and a stolen election, they had no evidence. And just like whatever bullshit they want to talk about, no evidence. And they're just fucking talking shit, they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about, you know what I mean? Because Trump says it, right? And so, he told them that shit. He knew that those were the people that they were talking about that were going to back him up. Not no motherfucking any agency of the United States. And yet they still show no proof or whatever. And he wanted to call the FBI incompetent. And he wanted to act like a victim and like it was a witch hunt, just for the simple fact that he wanted to derail that investigation. You know what I mean? Because it would take away, because then you wouldn't know, right, that the way that Russia hacked your ass was through videos trying to make you think that the Democrats were evil, and that's what it was. It wasn't because they were helping Trump like manipulate numbers or some shit. It was because they were attacking Democrats with misinformation to MAGA, making them think that the Democrats are evil. You know what I mean? And shit, literally thinking of like biblical stuff and some fucking Nazi fake Christian type of things and tones and you know what I mean, and undertones and shit and all this type of shit. Like they got Pizzagate, Hillary Clinton trafficking kids under a pizza party. Oh my God, they're scheming, they're making money and shit. They're a bureaucracy, they're fucking deep state and shit. All this other bullshit. I mean, like real talk. They even got them thinking that Obama is the one that crashed the market, not Wall Street, and they even thinking that the Democrats are the war presidents, and that it was Republicans that wanted to go to war and spend $2.3 trillion in Afghanistan. Right, and all over there. They got them thinking that Biden is the one that crashed the market, not the tax cuts that made like $9 trillion for the rich. I mean, like, and not the money that they had. That's how much they got after the tax cuts. You know what I mean? So I mean, these motherfuckers are completely like they're you see the problem with MAGA and the problem with the reason why they're brainwashed is because they follow an alternate narrative to the timeline. But they're always one step behind. But they think they're ahead. Because when the Republicans come in, they take advantage of what Democrats have fixed of this country But then the bad things for example, but let's shit with Biden. They're blaming Biden for the milk shit, even though we're already here, right? And they still blaming Biden for shit. Like they want to pick and choose what it is. They want to pick it. No, this is Biden's fault. Oh, thanks, Biden. And they're like, oh, but wait a minute. Now we're in Trump. No, it's still Biden's fault. But when we were in Biden's fault, when we were in Biden's shit, they were blaming Biden for the bad shit that Trump caused, because Trump gave him the fucked up economy. Here's the facts. When Obama came in office, he was given a fucked up economy and a war that he had to deal with, and a fuck, like the society and shit, whatever bullshit, racism and shit, like all this fucking, the middle class and lower class, we're fucking suffering and shit. What he do? He motherfucking represented black people. He represented minorities and shit. He helped, them in a way. Yes, we can and shit. That's, that was a slogan that we resonated with, even in the Latino community. You know what I mean? And at the same time, he helped. Those are the most afflicted people, by the way. You know what I mean? Because those are the people that suffer the most in this country, because y'all don't give a shit about them. You know what I mean? At the same time, he killed Osama bin Laden in that war, right? He killed Osama bin Laden, right? He pretty much ended the war with that. We got him. It's a wrap. I mean, like now you can just start easing out of it, right? He left it ready to get out of the war, right? And then he also brought down the unemployment. No, because you see, he introduced the stimulus package, right? Which was a fiscal policy introduced so that they could try to inject, like what is it, $3 trillion or $4 trillion into the market in order to, offset inflation and shit, because of the fucking banks that crashed the fucking market because of their fucking greed. You know what I mean? So they did that, right? And yet, that money was stolen by the top percent of people, by the billionaires and the bankers themselves, and they bailed themselves out. And then they were so scared that the market was going to crash again that they started like reinvesting the money. Like, we need to make sure that we you know what I mean? And they started reinvesting that same money that they fucking used to bail out. And they're the ones that crashed the fucking market. And what happened to the people? Right? The people got hit twice because it didn't trickle down like they said it was going to. It stayed there. You know what I mean? It didn't go to the lower class. It didn't go to the middle class. It stayed there, right? And at the same time, we also got hit with, we got some jobs, right? That's what's going to provide jobs, and that's how it's going to trickle down. And then what? And then they laid off the jobs, and inflation hit, right? Like it was always going to. But what we saw is that they disproportionately held most of the fucking wealth, either way. That's maybe $2.3 trillion. If I'm being conservative, I know that's a lot of money. I'm throwing out there a lot of numbers, and this shit don't make no sense. I'm gonna tell you, they kept probably 2/3 of this shit. That's all I'm saying. They probably kept more than 2/3 of this shit. You know what I mean? And so it's like, the pie or whatever. They want to claim, like the whole capitalistic fucking argument here, that why they don't like social or shit, and they want to claim that if these billionaires aren't able to make more money, then they get demotivated. Because a smaller piece of the pie for the more you work is not going to be incentivizing for you to work even harder. You know what I mean? Or whatever bullshit they fucking want to talk about. Like, niggas got yachts and shit. If the rich top 10% were charged 2% of what they're charged more right now in taxes, they could solve fucking homelessness in this country. They could solve fucking hunger in this country. Hungriness in this country. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck are they talking about? Them motherfuckers is tripping. You know what I mean? Like, yo, they tripping. And it's like that, but that's the capitalistic argument. That, oh my God, the piece of the pie and shit, why do if I work hard and I make more money, then I get a smaller piece of the pie. So why does that make sense? That's not incentivizing. Because if I have to pay more, then that means I get a smaller piece of the pie. Because that's how they look at it. Motherfuckers, and they claim to be Christian. They claim this is the Christian nation. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? And they don't tithe and shit. They don't believe in that. You know what I mean? They don't believe in even giving back through taxes to their own people. No. They believe in getting tax cuts that fucking, having the fucking middle class and lower class who have never gotten this, again, didn't get the reparations, didn't get the restitution, didn't get the trickle-down economics. They've been getting fucked, economically, and these motherfuckers been increasing their wealth, and the disparity is, like, off the fucking charts now. You know what I mean? And who knows what the fuck, you know what I mean? They still haven't brought up the minimum wage in this country. You know what I mean? They still haven't made it like a federal thing. They still fucking, what the fuck? Now you got like these fucking 10% of people trying to bring this culture of Bugattis and AP watches, all this luxurious shit. All they giving their money to is luxury shit, like luxury industries. That is like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And it's so distasteful. And I'm telling you, that is what leads to violence, nigga. Not a fucking losing an election like a bunch of babies. You think we're a bunch of babies like fucking MAGA, nigga? Fuck that shit, nigga. What the fuck we did? Oh, y'all, we're gonna get mad because of the fucking election and shit. Nigga, like a bunch of fucking crybabies. Nigga, fuck MAGA, nigga. Them niggas is a bunch of babies. They might be a bunch of babies. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's not why violence occurs. Okay? You know what I'm saying? It's the disparity, the distasteful culture that is from the top 10% of people trying to oppose it on the top 90% of people that don't got shit. That live paycheck to paycheck. My nigga, that motherfucker don't have a place to stay. The people homeless that don't even gotta fucking change the drawers or some shit. You know what I mean? That's fucking distasteful. It's disgusting. You know what I mean? And that's what they want to impose to you. That's what they want to tell MAGA. That's what MAGA wants to live vicariously through. That's what they think they're gonna take. That's why they think they're better than you. That's why they nuke themselves economically, because they're not motherfucking the top 10%, nigga. Most of those motherfuckers are middle class and lower class too, and they think they're better than you, nigga. And they ain't shit. You know what I mean? And they paid for fucking MAGA. They thought it was a good idea to take away all our benefits and give the rich yet another motherfucking tax cut. Yet another one. Like, it wasn't enough that they made a profit off of 9/11. It wasn't enough that they crashed the stock markets, and then they stole the fucking the quantitative easing. You know, basically stole it and hoarded it and reinvested it to make even more motherfucking money. You know what I mean? We went and the people, we have been going through terrorism shit, police brutality and racism. You know what I mean? Institutional racism, prison. You know what I'm saying? All that shit, niggas getting killed and shit, riots and then motherfucking pandemics, fucking mad cow disease, shit. We went through the fucking apocalypse, 2012. You know what I mean? Apocalypse. We went through motherfucking, you know, the end of the world. Some niggas, some fucking cults out here thought they're fucking false prophets over here thinking that this is the end of the world and shit. You know what I mean? We went through a war and desensitizing people and shit. We went through, you know what I mean? God damn. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? You know, Hurricane Katrina, you know, all these hurricanes and natural disasters and shit. You know what I mean? We went through fucking, and then we even got hit with COVID. And yet these motherfuckers are on the like 20th, they're still gorging the motherfucking plate like, goddamn, nigga, shit. And y'all niggas is like, yeah, that's good. Yeah, but it's dumb motherfucker. MAGA are the most stupidest motherfuckers ever, cuz. They're the most stupidest motherfuckers ever. Because they listen to the fucking rich man that makes way more fucking money than them. They think, oh yeah, he's smart, man. He's smart. Fucking idiots, bro. Yeah, but they're fucking idiots, dude. You know what I mean? Shit, I don't have that type of, I mean, shit, I have a line with my motherfucking, like the people that I love. I mean, I have a fucking, you know, shit like, goddamn, like, how the fuck? I mean, shit. Them niggas said, them niggas, like I said, they try to blame the Democrats, you know what I mean? But they don't like the truth. They don't want to say the truth, that the Republicans are the ones that derailed what the Democrats have done. They want to say the Democrats don't do anything. Who the fuck is stopping the Democrats? It's always the Republicans that didn't want to work on a you see, because they like to politicize. See, they couldn't be doing this shit, feeding you this bone of mass deportation and we're saving the terror, all that bullshit. You know what I mean? Because if they would have helped work on an immigration bill in the first place, but they didn't want to work on an immigration bill. They didn't want to stop the sporadic influxes of the shit. And you know what? It's so good that, you know what I'm saying, that we can see the hatred for what it is. Because I don't even like talking about this shit. Because, you know, I believe in God. And I'm pro-immigration, by the way. But because, like, you know, like I said, y'all called it your backyard for so long. And, you know, from hundreds of years, y'all been destabilizing and shit. And I don't think it's a crime for people to want a better, you know, life. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's a crime. And it's like, y'all act like there's no room here and some shit. Like, y'all act like y'all couldn't have helped those countries. Y'all act like, nigga, like, what the hell? Like, y'all on some shit, you know what I mean? Y'all act like y'all the weak country or some shit. You know, y'all act like, you know what I mean? El Salvador is helping you. You know what I mean? And shit, like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, y'all niggas should have been helping them and shit. The fuck? You know what I mean? But y'all niggas is whack. Because y'all ain't real leaders. Y'all fucking pussy ass niggas. Y'all weak motherfuckers. You know what I mean? And I'm just saying that, like, objectively. Like, you're a big country, and you want to act like you're the smallest, fucking most, You want to act like you're North Korea. Like, oh, get away from me, and like, oh, you know what I mean? And like, dude, you're the fucking United States of America. I mean, what the hell? I thought you were Big Brother. I thought you was the strong king. You know what I mean? I thought you were the strong nation. I thought you were the Christian strong nation. You know what I mean? But again, I'm just gonna, go through these moments. And the reason why is because you're not just not Christians, but you're a devilish form of Christianity. You want to hide behind that image of being a good Christian, but they're not. You know why? Because they are materialistic Protestants. You know what I mean? Who unfortunately have grown a culture, a different narrative. You know what I mean? Of a culture that is based in materialism and this sort of like acting like they're Christians. You know what I'm saying? And but not really sticking to the Christian word, which I think is just they're lost, they're blind. You know what I mean? And I mean, and they like to believe that they know the word, but they don't really know the word. That being said, you know what I mean. I also, I don't understand 100% of the word, but I do understand one thing, which is that this is an injustice, and there's no way to justify genocide or concentration camps or incarcerating innocent people or telling kids to believe that they're gangsters and that they're evil. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And y'all, with y'all racist policies, you're materialistic. You want America, make America great again. It's like the American dream. What a dystopian utopia where you sip the Kool-Aid and you let a billionaire be your motherfucking cult leader. I mean, shit. It's a cult. MAGA is a cult. I mean, they have certain words that are cult words. Like they come up with this shit. I mean, like the new one, right? Trump derangement syndrome. You know what I mean? Used by some of the representatives on there. Like now they want to sound smart. Now they want to sound normal and shit. And they want to call you crazy. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, what the fuck? Now they want to call you crazy. Trump derangement syndrome. I'm like, so let's think about this. Trump, the motherfucker dude that led an insurrection. The dude who's not even a politician. The dude who sided with Putin instead of America, which is treason. The treasonous traitor. The guy who fucking grabs them by the pussy and is a Christian at the same time, who doesn't get rebuked from the table. The pervert that still eats at the table where y'all break bread. The man who never repented to Jesus and never has apologized for anything he's done, not even to E. Jean Carroll. He doesn't even apologize to E. Jean Carroll. I'm saying shit. He wanted to sue her and terrorize her, but he can't. Now he got a restraining order. I mean, he can't do that. You know what I mean? But anyway, the man who was not a good president, didn't deliver on anything he did, except being a racist, of course. You know what I mean? The man who y'all look up to, even though he was a sexual predator, or best friends with one, whichever, you is, tell me your friends, and I mean, shit, it's like saying that you best friends with a pothead, that's his thing, but you didn't know that, and not only that, but you weren't best friends with him because you was also a pothead. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying like, nah, that's not what happened. I mean, say shit. I mean, only in the world of like the most lost materialistic people in Babylon is this normal. You know what I mean? But that's what it is. You know what I mean? And you know, you got people that are like, okay, so, you know, they're like they believe in a different version of the Bible. They believe in a different ideology. They are materialistic. You know what I mean? And they are they believe in eugenics. Some of them are bred this way. They believe in eugenics. Unfortunately, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just gonna say they're just lost souls. But these lost souls, cause a lot of damage. You know what I mean? And are numerous. You know what I mean? And they have a false sense of pride and ego. They don't know what right and wrong is. They don't know a sense of character. I doubt they even know what love is. You know what I mean? And yet they want to, force their way, in the world. And it's like, they're racist motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know they're racist though. That's the problem. You know what I mean? And so it's like, that's just how they are. That's just their nature. They believe in other things, and whatever it is, the good that they see that they think that they believe in, you know, I mean, everybody, tries to do the right thing. The difference between them and me is that I give up what I don't understand to God. I mean, and just listen to God. These people listen to Trump and to themselves. I mean, so that's just that's just how I feel. I mean, and so anyway, um, what was I gonna say? Um, so yeah, like the whole thing with Trump being, I think he's a traitor. Like I said, because of Hillary. But apparently, like I said, I never understood why people don't see what I see. I don't know. I mean, it's just crazy. But if in retrospect, if you look back into that time, if they would have noticed that about him, especially the Democrats or the people, like the whole freaking country would have noticed this specific moment where you realize that he doesn't that he what his real intentions or his real feelings towards the U.S. is. I think that he wanted to come out and show it and be bold about it because he wanted it to be normalized. And so, he set a precedent when he sided with Putin, and it never came back. It's always went that way, which is dismantling and hatred for America, trying to attack the Democrats, letting Russia, spread misinformation. I want to say something about that because it happened on Facebook and Meta on Zuckerberg, who was once part of the Democrats, and even when they went to his face and they said, "Yo, dude, like, yo, bruh, like, fuck is going on, man? We know you ain't paying your taxes. We know the people love you, but what the fuck is going on? Why the hell you like? Why are people getting this crap in their phones? Why are people thinking that they're pizza getting all this bullshit?" And Mark looked like an idiot. Like I don't know. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know where that came from, dude. You know what I mean? And it's like we're looking into it. We're looking into it. Silicon Valley. You know what I'm saying? When I'm not surfing and shit, and I'm not, I'm definitely telling these guys to look into it and shit. I don't lock in anymore, man. I'm exploring new avenues. I'm getting some sun in my life, so I don't really know. But no, he said, and they're like, okay, but you're going to up your security, you know what I'm saying? Because I know that you taking people's data and we don't have a precedent on whether this is their personal property or not. And, you're selling it to motherfucking countries so that or other companies so that they can target them with ads and shit. But motherfucker, like, goddamn, can we at least motherfucking come to terms on some shit? Like, stop motherfucking letting people fucking put information that's going to put Democratic fucking leaders in harm's way because of bullshit that's made up on the internet. Yeah, man. Yeah, I guess I guess we can up our security a little bit. Yeah, I guess that's my fault. I'm sorry. Or I don't know if he apologized, but he did admit to be at fault. You know what I mean? You fast forward, motherfucker, a couple years later, and now he changed his tone. Now he's like, oh man, those Democrats, man, they were trying to censor me and shit. Oh, yeah, man, go America all the way and shit. I mean, why are you trying to act like you're liberal? Even you see, that's why you're the bitch of MAGA because you're even liberal when you try to act like you're like them. You know what I mean? Nigga, they're not into that shit. They're not into free speech, asshole. They think they are, but they're not. They hate liberals, right? So they hate free speech. So what the fuck are they talking about? You know what I mean? So why the fuck, what I mean? You're even a bitch in their circles. You know what I mean? And it's like, but you change your tone trying to act like the Democrats were motherfucking trying to censor you when really they were trying to, stop fucking Russia fucking making stupid fucking videos that brainwashes you motherfuckers and then run up in a pizza fucking parlor with a goddamn shotgun talking about where the fuck is Bill Clinton hiding the children and shit. Nigga, where's evil crooked Hillary at? Oh my God. You know what I mean? Dumb motherfuckers. For 10 years, y'all been brainwashed. I mean, MAGA been brainwashed for 10 fucking years. Air that fucking episode, Alex Jones. You don't want to get sued again for the Sandy Hook shit that you was talking about, or the motherfucking interdimensional six dimensional intergalactical beings that fucking operate in the. Shut the fuck up, motherfucker. What the hell is you talking about, man? Don't you know y'all brainwash your viewers? Joe Rogan don't know that shit. Oh, yeah, I was just asking questions, dude. I don't know why you're so mad, bro. I don't know why people. I don't. Nigga, what the fuck? Nigga, these niggas is fucking dumb motherfuckers, bro. Can't believe this shit. You see, this is what happened. This is why I told. This is why I told. This is why I tell Democrats, nigga. This is why I tell these motherfuckers that the kids that are working for Meta and working for fucking this son of a bitch over here, nigga. I know you don't. I know y'all niggas ain't motherfucking MAGA, bro. You know y'all niggas ain't stupid enough to be into that bullshit. Y'all make the apps, y'all make the shit. I think that y'all niggas kind of fucked up when y'all wanted to go into your own private selves in the private sector instead of trying to help people or trying to help the government and shit. That's why motherfuckers have taken advantage of the situation, and y'all have let companies use your skills so that they can empower themselves who are not trying to overthrow governments. You know what I mean? Because we know that technology, that's the way it's headed, right? Because of AI. Now we know that motherfucking technology can cross boundaries. We've been on that. You know, the whole government systems across the world and nations, we understand that everything is changing. Because why do we understand that? Because in order to do this shit in this country, what has happened in this country, these motherfuckers have already done that in other countries, right? In order to election hacking in the United States, the same shit happened in other countries, bro. They took your data, they targeted you demographically based on your data. You know what I mean? And that's how they fed you those videos of fucking Hillary. You know what I mean? And they knew that they could get you on their side based on your demographic. If you're white, if you're whatever, you're a 40-year-old white man, you know, that makes 40K a year. You know, no, you make 50K a year. Or you're a brown man, or you're a black man that makes 30K a year. I mean, you know, whatever, man. You're like, you know, this is, they brainwash your motherfucking ass, dog. And you think they don't have your data, so tell me, how do you get ads then? How the fuck do you get your ads then? Because they target you through your ads, right? Not just through algorithms. Those algorithms, though, are the ones that fed you line video after line video after line video. You know, you talk about Satanism, talk about motherfucking Freemasons and shit. You get into the whole fucking rabbit holes and you start going all the way there. You go, Hillary Clinton, the Bilderberg Group, and motherfucking Illuminati and shit. You know, come on. And then these motherfuckers clout chasing, say that shit on their podcast, and then when they fucking put a legitimate political shit, they make it real. See, what Joe Rogan did was he made it real when he brought Trump onto his show. So you want us to take you seriously, or you want us to take you as a motherfucking joke? You know what I mean? So, see, these motherfuckers, they don't know how to differentiate because they know that they have power, and they're like, oh yeah, I like the power and shit. Oh yeah, I can just say whatever the fuck I want and shit. You know what I mean? They don't have no responsibility. They don't have no they're not responsible or accountable for their actions. And that's immature. That's childish. You know, they're not that childish. You can't tell me these 40, 50-year-old men are that fucking stupid. They want to act stupid. They want to act like they don't know what they was doing. You know what I mean? Shit. No, they just knew that that they could personally gain from the situation. You know what I mean? And they did not even care about they liked the freedom. They didn't care about the country. They didn't care about the laws. They didn't care about that shit. I mean, that's how I feel. I feel like that's how power corrupts absolutely. And if you have a following, that shit gets to your head. You know what I mean? And then you couldn't draw the line. I mean, Alex Jones. I mean, that motherfucker got sued for Sandy Hook, and yet that nigga was at that fucking rally. You know what I mean? Talking about. I mean, he led one of those protests at January 6th. I mean, what the hell? I want to say another thing. These are like that mother. Have you ever watched that movie Contagion? Contagion with Lawrence Fishburne and not Mark Wahlberg, but Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Matt Damon. You know, have you watched that movie Contagion with Lawrence Fishburne and Matt Damon and I forgot her name. But you know that they're like that dude with the hazmat suit that's a reporter, but he's not a real reporter. He's a fringe sleuth that talks shit and people listen to him. They think that he's right and whatever. You know, one of those fucking guys. That's what these motherfuckers are on the internet. Understand, internet influencers were given political advice, and the thing is that they don't know that they were consuming this hot garbage until it's too late. You know what I mean? Until they totally believe it. That is the brainwash. You know, they don't know when to cut the plug. They don't know when to get off the internet. They fucking stay on that bitch, hooked like crack. I mean, it's idiocracy. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why they're a fucking joke. I mean, because they think they're so fucking smart that they think that you're brainwashed. But they got brainwashed online with online influencers. You know You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? That, like they said, fake news. And then they went and got brainwashed on X.com. You know what I mean? Like they went to the YouTube and got their news. And they and by people who brainwashed them in that sense. Now what the Democrats have to do is add some legitimacy. You know what I mean? Because now they got to keep up with this motherfucker shit, which I personally think that they should just be straight direct competitors. I mean, but at the same time, in order to have a functioning apparatus for this shit, then there has to be something that, like, the legacy media was just that. It was the I don't know if you want to say the traditional way. I just feel as though it's like it's the way, it's the thing you have to do, whether for good or for worse. But again, we live in a new age of networks, and the networks that they chose to build is like a mini civilization, mini society of itself, right? It's like a mini reality of itself. Like you understand, like for example, yeah, it's enough people, but it's not the whole United States. They feel as though it's enough people that they think it's a country. Now they think they're enough. MAGA think it's an actual legit country. They think it's the whole world. You know what I mean? Like they think it's the whole world because they have enough people from different fucking because like it's subtle. You know, you got rappers, you got Snoop Dogg. They think all blacks are, you know, this shit. You know, you got we're not racist. You know what I mean? They got like Dana White and that shit. You got entertainment and UFC, right? You got motherfucking and I think Trump is the one that added this layer of like celebrities and shit. You know what I mean? And added this layer of fan bases and mixing entertainment with reality. But I'm gonna tell you something, real motherfuckers are dying. You know what I mean? And it's not no motherfucking entertainment, bitch. It's our lives and shit. It's a country. The country is not entertainment. It's not a show. It's not the fucking Apprentice. I mean, y'all niggas put this fucking piece of shit rapist in the hands of the fucking the world's greatest military and shit. Like, what the fuck is your problem? You guys got fucking issues. I mean, and at the same time, like, a traitor. I think he's a traitor. I think he's a traitor because I want people to tell me how the fuck, without deflecting, how the fuck is it right, or how does it represent America's best interest, right? To motherfucking target Hillary Clinton, Democrats, and every single agency of the United States, while instead of targeting or instead of addressing Putin and doing it right in front of Putin. How does that represent our best interests? And I don't give a fuck. You're like, oh, they were investigating this shit. And this is a conspiracy. I don't give a fuck, nigga. You the president. I don't give a fuck about you, nigga. You're supposed to represent us, not yourself. You know what I mean? And in that capacity, when you were supposed to represent us, you only cared about yourself, which makes you fucking 100 times guilty in my book. Number one. You know what I mean? Number two, like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, this shit is blatantly treason. You know what I mean? Like straight up treason. Because it would have been one thing if he would have said, if he would have waited until after he got out of that press conference to go after Hillary or talk shit about Hillary, whatever the fuck he wants to do, and then derail the FBI investigation like he wanted to, because I know that's what his main goal was. But no, he wanted other people to agree with him. He wanted Russia to agree with him. He wanted to be like, nope, America is corrupted as shit, and Hillary's a bad person. Putin's a nice guy. I just had a talk with him in the background and in the back, and he said he didn't do anything. You're wrong. Fake news, fake country, fake agency, fake Democrats, fake Department of Defense, fake NSA, fake FBI, fake CIA, fake. You know what I mean? Come on. There was no election hacks. They all said that with no, and you know what they said? They had produced enough evidence that said with great certainty. Do you know what that means in that talk? That that's with great certainty that there was election hacking and that it was from Putin. With great certainty. That means something. That means that they had fucking something, like, this means over 95% sure. Right? I'm not exactly what percent is, but it's over 90%. It's goddamn guarantee almost. With great certainty means almost a guarantee. You know what I mean? Like, it's up there. Like, right before guarantee. Like, yes, 100%. And this motherfucker said they're all full of shit. You know what I mean? He wants the whole world to believe that we're full of shit. He just so his fucking cult can jerk off and rub their pussies to dying children. You know what I mean? And they can rub their pussies to fucking kids in cages and to bombed kids to dead children. They're fucking disgusting and sick and perverted and just the worst. They're the worst. I mean, and they're treasonous. They're insurrectionists. I mean, so I don't care about what they gotta say. I don't care what they say, and it's not normal to live in a place like this. This is not normal. And the thing is that America, how are you gonna stop yourself? Because if this was another country, it would have been at war probably by now. No, we are our own worst enemy. You guys have now manifested how I felt. You know what I mean, for a long time. Oh shit. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, yeah, that's what's going on in the country, though. You ask yourself, do people like? I ask you, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? That's the question I gotta ask. You know what I mean? What is wrong with you? Sí, sí, le puedo llamar. Oh, anyway, gotta go.